Came back because I wanted to come back, and congratulations to the honorees, but to say to them how excited I am to be able to welcome someone who is a friend, who is a mentor, and who is a leader. Someone who led us to the Affordable Care Act, who holds Wall Street accountable, who brought us out of the brink of a Great Depression, and who has stood side by side for the peace and security of Israel, and for ensuring that we move forward toward a solution that results in security in the region. And I am delighted to be able this evening to welcome to you somebody who I have come to know over these last several weeks and months, couple of years, as someone who fights all the time for the American people, fights for women and our working families. We've been joined together in a huge fight for a true women's economic agenda that includes pay equity and make sure that women have access and families have access to child care, and that we raise wages in this country and strengthen entrepreneurship. Well, I could go on, and I'm going to tell you something. This friend that I'm going to bring to the stage, I have watched her work, and let me assure you that were she the Speaker of the House, this nonsense would not be going on right now. And so it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage my friend, my leader, my mentor, our leader, Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you very much, J Street. Good evening, J Street. Thank you very much for your wonderful welcome. Thank you, Donna Edwards, for your kind words of introduction, but most importantly, for your great leadership in the Congress of the United States. I know that you gave a stirring tribute to Nancy Bagley earlier. I'm sorry I had to miss that, Nancy, because we were engaged in stopping people from baying at the moon for their 45th, 46th time to overturn the Affordable Care Act. Forgive me for departing from the moment. Only that would have prevented me from being here to see you receive your award. And Les Gelb, for your beautiful introduction and award to Mort Halperin and your longtime service on issues of peace and justice across the globe. Donna Edwards, I see how respected she is here. I want you to know how respected she is in the Congress of the United States. Whether members agree on the other side of the aisle or disagree with her point of view, they all respect her integrity, her knowledge, and her dedication to making the future better. On both sides of the aisle, on both sides of the Capitol, on both sides of Pennsylvania Avenue. She is the future and the present. She makes a tremendous difference, and she's very proud of the friendship that she has with J Street. Donna, thank you once again for your leadership. All of our participation in this extraordinary conference and your persistent advocacy would not be possible without Jerry Ben-Ami. Your presence here is a tribute to his leadership and the vision that he has for J Street. Thank you, Jeremy. Through organizing on Capitol Hill, Donna has told me what is going on campuses and in our communities. Jeremy, his fellow leaders, and all of you have maintained J Street as the home of the pro-Israel, pro-peace movement. And tonight you recognize two great leaders. Few people across the country exemplify the principles of peace and justice more than Mort Halperin and Nancy Bagley. Each one of them has served the public in government, in the nonprofit world, and in the private sector. Each has stayed true to the ideals that drove their service from the start: to secure the common good, to pursue justice, to advance the American ideals of a more perfect union. Mort Halperin's leadership has touched all of our lives. He has served as presidents of both parties. He has advocated for American civil rights for a long time. He is one of the top experts on how to protect our security while preserving our civil liberties. Thank you, Mort Halperin, for that. He has taken the lead in the industry of ideas in Washington. I was with him someplace last week, and I heard people saying when we were talking about Mort, any good thing that has happened in Washington, D.C., Mort Halperin has been a part of. Thank you, Mort, for your leadership. I, says she immodestly, hold him in such regard that I made him the appointment of the House Democrats to the Millennium Challenge Corporation, and President Obama accepted that nomination and appointed Mort to that position where he serves us so well. Now, as J Street's new chair of the board, Mort will continue to serve as a powerful voice for justice and a bold leader for peace. Congratulations, Mort Halperin, for this wonderful, wonderful honor. Nancy Bagley, we all love Nancy Bagley. Not only love her, respect her, admire her. She comes from a family committed to public service. We all know that. She learned from a young age the importance of engaging with policymakers who were in her home, leaders and progressive activists from around the world. With her strong work ethic, diplomatic skills, and commitment to progress, Nancy Bagley has made her own mark, her Nancy Bagley mark, in the fight for equality and peace. She worked with President Clinton in the White House. She's a young person now, is a very young person, facilitating democracy building at the ARCA Foundation, where she worked with Donna Edwards, where Donna Edwards worked for the foundation, and engaging in the Middle East peace with policy with J Street. As a working, I want to say some personal things about her because I've known her for many, many years. She's a friend of my daughter, Christine. They now do baby dates, what do we call that? Play dates and all of that with their children. But she's a wonderful person. I was at her, my husband and I were at her wedding, Sarush and her wedding. So this is about personal as well as really official and civic admiration. I've seen her as a working mother dedicated to advancing the rights of all mothers across the globe. And with her husband, Sarush, she is raising their son, Cameron, with that same dedication to service. This little baby boy, he knows of a sense of community already. Many of Nancy's friends know that this is a highly unusual night for her because she can usually be found behind the scenes, making change happen. My daughter, Christine, I was talking to her on the way over, and she said, I don't know if she's nervous, but she's usually the one, again, making things happen, and tonight things are happening for her. I hope that you understand how much that means to her and to all of us. Tonight, Nancy Bagley is front and center in the fight for justice, and rightfully so. Congratulations, Nancy, on receiving the Peace and Justice Award from J Street. As we honor Mort and Nancy, we know that the connection between peace and justice is a real one, that these values are bound together. Pope Paul VI once said, if you want peace, work for justice. That is the way, that's what J Street is about, even though it's not necessarily, maybe even knows that Pope Paul said that. But it is a truth. And it's all about peace founded in justice for Israel and her people, a peace that secures Israel's future as a Jewish democratic state. J Street knows that now is our time to heal. It is our time to lead. That American leadership is necessary for peace and prosperity in the Middle East and around the world, and it is a privilege to join you tonight as part of the great constituency for peace. As far as Israel is concerned, our great constituency for peace must continue to stand behind a clear vision. 2 states for 2 peoples. A secure Israel living side by side with an independent state for the Palestinian people. It's a 2-state solution, but it must be a solution. It is a vision resting at the center of any pro-Israel agenda, a vision essential to U.S. national security. It is a vision intended to sustain Israel as a beacon of hope and opportunity and democratic ideals from generation to generation. I've said, including earlier this evening, when we bid farewell to Ambassador Oren, I said that I always thought that in the 20th century, one of the greatest political achievements was the establishment of the State of Israel. And so, as I said before, for all of us, a 2-state solution has been and remains our goal, but it must be a real solution. A solution must be negotiated. It must promote security, growth, and progress for all parties. A solution must address Israel's legitimate and pressing security needs alongside Palestinian aspirations for a country of their own. A solution is in Israel's interest. It is in America's interest. It is in the best interest of families and children, students and soldiers, activists and political leaders across the region. 20 years ago, in September 1993, as I can see from the many young faces in this crowd, some of you were just born, maybe at that time, but I had the privilege as a member of Congress of sitting on the White House lawn to witness Prime Minister Rabin sign the Oslo Accords. Hearing him express the hope, as he said, to live side by side, in dignity, in empathy, as human beings, as free men. Yitzhak Rabin, Prime Minister. His words ring true in the efforts of J Street and in our common efforts for peace today, as he said, for dignity, for empathy, and for freedom of Israelis and Palestinians. Moving forward, we must realize that the dream of peace and justice for Israel and her neighbors is in the 21st century. It is indeed our time to lead. In fact, it is long overdue. It is time to ensure that the unbreakable friendship between the United States and Israel is forever a friendship dedicated to peace, to justice, and to future success for all. Thank you, J Street, and thank all of you who are here for leading the charge of the pro-Israel, pro-peace community. I wish you much success in that endeavor. I look forward to our working together. I'm honored to be here with all of you to pay special tribute to our honorees and special thanks to Jeremy Ben-Ami for his leadership. Thank you, J Street. Have a good evening.